That's weird. That's weird. Kind of weirding me out.
You are a sad, strange little man.
Crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. Isn't that weird?
That's weird, man.
It's strange.
Yo, what's up? This is episode 8 of Cam Strange. David just whipped when the beat dropped over there, but you guys couldn't see it because this is a podcast.
I whipped it real hard.
Whip it real good. Whip it real good.
I whip, but I don't nay-nay.
No, nay-nay. No, nay-nay.
No nay-nay, just whipping.
But, yeah, so this is episode 8 of Cam Strange. I am your counselor, Alex Tobin.
And I'm your other camp counselor, David Stokes.
Okay. And seems like you forgot your name for a sec.
I might have.
But, yeah, we're back with episode 8. Strong as ever. I feel so strong lately.
I'm so strong.
Lifted up a car in traffic yesterday.
Was that you? Because I saw it on the LA, like the news Instagram account. They're like, mysterious man
on PCP
lifted car.
Lifts car. Shatters arms.
Everybody at first thought that you were saving someone, but you actually ended up crushing someone with the car after you tossed it across the freeway.
I caused more death.
It was awesome.
But yeah, like I said, strong as ever. The podcast is strong as ever, and
we'll see about that.
Anyway, yeah, we're back, and we're here to tell some strange, weird, spooky stories.
Because it's October, motherfucker.
It is, and since it's October, I wanted to talk about the first things first.
First things first.
We just came off of an Alien episode a couple back, and we talked about the rocket in the sky, and now we have another SpaceX rocket that just flew by a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And this time they gave a warning.
Did they? Because I didn't catch the warning because I missed all of this until the next day, and I saw everybody's Instagram stories. It's like, fuck, I missed that one.
Apparently they gave a warning. Let me say that. So apparently they gave a warning about the rocket, and that's what I'm trying to say the whole time is that don't you think that if it was a rocket the first time, I don't know, it looked really similar, but don't you think if it was rocket the first time, like they would have just been like, hey, you guys, just not freak anybody out. But this time SpaceX was like, we're going to be launching a rocket off the coast.
Maybe they just learned their lesson from last time, and they're like, okay, these nitwits need a warning.
Somebody brought up a good point, and they talked about how that first time they launched, maybe it was better press to not release a statement saying we're going to launch something and have people go, oh my God, because fear spreads faster than truth. So
got to ride the fear.
If people are scared and they're like, what is this? And then they find out it's SpaceX, then it's just good press for SpaceX. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. So it might be a good publicity stunt for them, or it might be aliens.
It could be the aliens.
Aliens.
Aliens. The aliens.
But, yeah, so, I mean, who knows?
I'm not rolling it out.
I'm always down for a visit from our sisters from another Mr. Planet.
I don't know. I think we're the aliens. I think this land belonged to the dogs before we got here.
That's maybe kind of accurate. Not necessarily dogs, but definitely some sort of animals. And
this was the dogs' land.
I'm going to disregard that statement and jump.
This is the dogs' land. We're just a bunch of 2-foot freaks walking around, chopping down trees. This is the dogs' land.
Are you talking about Dog the Bounty Hunter?
What happened to him? Did someone bounty hunt his ass?
Talk about aliens, dude. That guy looked like he landed in like Arkansas and tried to figure out what humans look like.
You mean AR, Kansas?
Yeah, AR, Kansas. And he tried to figure out what a human looked like by looking through like hunting magazines. And he's like, this is what I will look like from now on. And then he's like, mullet, tank top.
He's like, no, more leather. More leather. I need more leather.
He's like, I will make my skin out of leather. So that's why he looks like that. But
he's a leathery dog.
No one knows what happened to him. Probably went back to his home planet. But another thing I really wanted to talk about was what Six Flags is doing this October. So this started in I don't know which original Six Flags, maybe Georgia or one of the Midwest states over there.
Are you about to drop every state that has a Six Flags?
No,
I didn't even know Georgia had a Six Flags.
Well, I read today that they have a Six Flags.
The big guy can read.
So I hope they did, or I read false information. But they have a challenge for the month of October. It might be just for one weekend.
Well, fuck, I was about to say we're halfway through October.
Yeah, it might be this weekend, actually. I'm not kidding. But we have a Six Flags next to us called Six Flags Magic Mountain, and
Still haven't been. I need to go.
I went there because Katie lives in Santa Clarita, which is right next to Six Flags Magic Mountain. But they have a competition or a challenge, more like it, that is called the Coffin Challenge. And what you have to do is
you bury yourself and you have to dig out.
No. All you have to do is stay in a coffin for 30 hours, and you get $300. Which sounds
well. Does that mean you have to like piss yourself? Can you piss yourself in the coffin? Like, is that like? No, would it be weird if they pulled you out and you had pissed yourself in the coffin?
I mean, that's that's probably the first question everybody asks. But I guess
take some Ambien and just sleep it all off.
The thing is, we'll get into that.
Feel better,
but you're allowed out of the coffin every hour for a bathroom break.
No.
Which is not that bad, because if you start getting claustrophobic, just know that you're going to, reach that point where you're out for an hour and you get a little fresh air. But
I think anybody with severe claustrophobia would need more than an hour.
Well, that's another thing. I brought it up at work today, and they're talking about how just like pop a Xanax or like sneak a flask in. And
I would eat some brownies.
Would weed make you more paranoid in there?
I didn't say anything about weed. I just want to eat some of that delicious chocolate.
Brownies are my drug. Like, that guy climbed to the fucking coffin with 30 brownies.
32 brownies, a whole
one
pan
an
sheet.
hour. I mean,
I need my chocolate.
Send us in. What drugs would you take to get into that coffin? I don't know. It just seems like such a weird thing, and it's not really. It's cool because it's $10 an hour if you really think about it, and you're making $10 to sleep as well.
Yeah.
So hopefully, the perk of it is that you could bring your friend in, because you start during open hours of the park, and they say you're
okay. So do you have to buy tickets to the park to do it?
I believe so. I believe that.
So then you take the $300 minus what is it, $100 to get into the damn place?
Well, maybe I didn't look into it that much, but I know that you have to submit like an application for the challenge. So maybe if you submit an application, they just let you into the park for free. Because
is the application basically like a health thing, so no one dies?
I think it's because probably, if everybody showed up, they'd have a line of like 800 people, and then they probably interview you or something. They have to vet it somehow, right?
So what you're saying is, if you're doing the application, you should put like one or two, not necessarily red flags, but put some yellow flags in there, like got some real deep issued trauma.
No, they would not let you in the coffin.
What? Okay, maybe not that bad, not that extreme, but like you can't
been buried alive by my uncle.
Yeah, you can't just be like, I've been buried alive 17 times, I can do this shit.
No, there's a warning on the website that says like you can't have any like medical conditions, and that's why I think they want the application to be like
some minor medical conditions.
I mean, I bet they still wouldn't want you there.
Yeah.
Because then they're liable. They're going to make you sign a contract that makes you say like they're like, if you have a heart attack in there, they're not liable or whatever. But I mean, it's still.
Well, hey, look at the bright side. They wouldn't have to do anything. They just leave you down there.
They save a lot of effort.
Your family would save a lot of money. That's just your coffin now.
I mean, because
can I get the one made of oak, please? The cherry wood.
Like, put this guy in the nicest coffin we have, because he's probably not going to make it out. But I mean, I don't know how many people they take, but if you're interested in your area, they did it in like one park, and it went off without a hit. No one died.
Do they have like a cap of how many people can do the challenge?
I don't know. I have to look it up, but maybe I can look it up now. But I mean, it's a cool challenge, honestly, and it like. Can
you bring in headphones and you can like listen to our podcast while you're laying there?
I don't think so. Somebody at work's like, "Oh, you should do a 30-hour like podcast for the coffin challenge."
People would love to listen to a 30-hour podcast of you sitting in a coffin, because people love that one movie of Ryan Reynolds in a coffin for an hour.
Buried is such a good movie.
It actually was a good movie.
That movie gave me really bad anxiety, and I loved it for it.
I forget about it, but I do remember that I liked it. That's how most movies are to me. I forget everything about them, but I do vaguely remember enjoying them.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I'm on the website now, and the requirements for the coffin dweller must be 18 or older with an ID, cannot have medical conditions that would make lying in a coffin for 30 hours a risk to health or well-being. That's probably most medical conditions. That's their words. You must sign a waiver, must lie completely flat and dead still. That's weird. And must provide own pillow and sleeping bag or blanket. So you bring your own shit. But why do you have to lie completely still?
They really get rock hard for that Cropsey vibe.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, but I mean, I guess they can't have people tossing and turning. But the winnings are you win $300 and a 2019 Gold Season Pass and an Express Haunted Maze Pass. I realize that the last thing you probably want to do is go through a haunted maze after being in a coffin for 30 hours. But
well, no, at that point your adrenaline's rushing and you're like, it's do or die, motherfucker. I'm getting through this maze.
Yeah, but they have a long they have like a 8-page guideline rule for what you have to do. Oh, so you don't need to purchase anything to win. So I think you could enter to win, and you don't even have to buy a ticket to the park. So it's a clean 300.
Should we spend the next 10 minutes filling out an application for me? Because I can do that.
No, I mean, would you?
We can buy some new equipment. Yeah, dude.
I think at the end of the day, it's like, what is your time worth, though? 30 hours is a long time.
Yeah, but like, I don't work every day.
Why not 24? Like, why not? I don't know.
Yeah, 30's kind of weak. 24 would make a lot more sense.
They must have done some testing with it.
I think it's funny that like they had to hire people to like just like sit there and hang out while you have these people in coffins.
You know, it's weird. So apparently you could bring your friend in when the park's open, but once the park closes, your friend has to be sent away, and then you're just there by yourself through
they
the whole night.
Give you a little tap, like "See you tomorrow, bud."
They'll probably like knock on the coffin, slip you a Baby Ruth through.
But no, like
Hershey bar because they're flatter.
But like seriously, do they have anything against like? Can you have like a phone in there with like headphones?
I
and, like,
don't
listen
think
to
you
stuff?
can have any kind of electronic because that would kind of
boring
defeat the
as fuck,
purpose of.
yeah.
Because if you're distracting yourself, you're not as scared. And the thing about like they don't want to pay out.
Excuse me, sir. I'm gonna watch every Saw movie while I'm in here on my phone.
Yeah, they don't want to pay out $15,000 to like everybody because everyone's just like, oh, I just played Candy Crush and got to level 900 on my phone. Like,
Well,
yeah.
the Wi-Fi is terrible in there.
What was wrong with your voice right there? Jesus Christ!
I need the cough. It's
Clean
my
your
allergies.
clean your stoma. Jeez. Yeah. So I mean, I'm not going to do that, but go to your nearest Fright Fest at Six Flags to check it out. And if you have done it or if you're going to do it, please email us. That is awesome. And I don't envy you, but I respect you for doing it.
Yeah, and please make sure that you are going to a Six Flags park to do this and not a mortuary.
They're like, I went to the park and there's a bunch of cement things hanging out of the grass. I just crawled in one and they buried me so quick I didn't know what to do with myself.
36 hours, more like 30 days.
So, yeah, don't go to a cemetery and climb in a open casket.
It's usually a bad idea.
Yeah, don't do it. So,
I
think
I also have another thing I need to bring up that I just
let's
realized.
bring it up.
Now that we're talking about theme parks and spooky stuff. So I'm sure you're all so sick and tired of hearing about it because Tobin only talked about it for half of the existence of the show. But I'm actually going to go to the Universal Studios Horror Nights, whatever it's called.
Oh, yeah, you told me that tonight.
And guess what, motherfucker? I'm going to get a picture of Beetlejuice. So
Beetlejuice will not be there.
He's going to be there, and I'm going to get a photo with him. I'm going to put it on the Instagram. Everybody can like it and talk about how awesome Beetlejuice is and how Beetlejuice was there. I'm going to find
If you
I'm
find
going to find
If you
Beetlejuice.
find an actual like person dressed like Beetlejuice, whether it's a fan or a person at the park,
Yeah.
I will. What do you want me to do?
Are there people cosplaying for this?
No, but like,
Oh, that
I mean,
just means you have to dress up for Beetlejuice for the rest of the month. Every time we
I'm
record.
not dressing up as Beetlejuice. For the rest
Just
of
when
the
we
month.
record.
How about this?
How about once? I just want to look up and see that I'm recording a podcast with Beetlejuice. Or you have to
I'll
do
do
the
it-
entire podcast
I'll do it
in
for like
Beetlejuice
Halloween.
voice.
Will you be Beetlejuice for Halloween right now? Will you
I
commit to that?
already have a Halloween costume.
What is it?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say.
Why?
I don't know if it's supposed to be a grand reveal for Riley, my girlfriend.
Oh, she listens to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should probably get into stories before you guys go. These guys are getting too comfortable.
These guys have had way too much white wine.
I'm here for the... We're drinking white wine. I'm not a white wine guy. I know it's cliche to be like, hey, we're going to talk about spooky stories and drink white wine or red wine, but he brought over white wine, and I'm drinking it because it's $3.50.
Well, he got mad at me because I said I drink red wine cold because I don't like warm beverages.
Fucking insane.
And so I decided, if he's not going to support my cold red wine, I'll bring a Chardonnay.
I would have drinking cold red wine. I've never had it cold. I just think that's weird, but...
Well, you get it cold and you mix it with fruit punch Gatorade.
Are you serious?
No.
I thought you might do that. I was like...
Not that
really
trailer.
quick sidebar. One time my friend got really drunk while chasing with red Gatorade, and he started throwing up, and then he started freaking out that he was throwing up blood because he couldn't remember that he drank Gatorade. And he's like, "You guys, I'm throwing up blood."
Yeah.
And we're like, "No, you're not." So
I think most people
Just
have had
remember
that
that.
experience with Red Hot Cheetos.
Lil Xan did.
Yeah, he can overdose on that.
Yeah. So okay, but we should get into some spooky stories, and
Get
I'm
on
very
in
very excited
it.
about this story I'm about to tell. So this is a heavy hitter for most of you.
Ooh, a little gram slam.
Horror gram slam.
A gram slam.
This is a heavy hitter for most of you horror aficionados out there who really like creepy stories. This is the story of Cropsey. And if you listen to scary stories, you probably come across Cropsey. David has not.
I have no idea what you're talking about, and I'm feeling maybe once you get into it, I'll be like, oh, okay, I remember this, but I'm really striking a blank here.
Yeah, I don't know. Striking a blank, yeah. You gonna draw on one?
Huh?
What? Okay.
No, I'm striking it.
So I'll get into it and see if it brings back any childhood memories. If you travel to New York's southernmost borough, Staten Island, you will most likely find quiet neighborhoods, local markets, and thriving communities. Just beyond the small town lies the overgrown and snaking forest, where some say if you walk deep enough into, you may encounter the infamous Cropsey.
Okay, is this like a little gremlin that crop dusts people? Hello, I gotta go furry. I'm gonna walk across you.
He's a farting crop duster. I thought he meant like he actually helped out people's crops by dusting them.
I think 9 out of 10 times when you use the word crop dusting, it's typically farting.
I get that.
Yeah.
So the legend of Cropsey started in 1942 with the construction of the Willowbrook State School, which was a state-supported institution for children with intellectual disabilities built up in the Willowbrook neighborhood of Staten Island, surrounded by a forest called the Staten Island Greenbelt. So This was a mental institution or for handicapped children in a small neighborhood in Staten Island surrounded by a forest.
Okay.
Now, the Willowbrook State School was notorious in itself for the horrible mistreatment of the children that occupied its grounds. The hospital itself was set up to house 4,000 patients, but in 1965, they had over 6,000. Which is very common for mental institutions and like prisons.
Just getting overran.
Way overcrowded and like horrible conditions. The children were piled into large rooms with 50 horribly mentally handicapped patients to one nurse. The children were left unattended, filthy, naked, and hungry as the small staff tried to look after all the patients. Both Bobby Kennedy in 65 and Geraldo Rivera, you know who that is, in 72, toured the facility, both explaining the horrid conditions of the school. And Geraldo Rivera actually has a documentary on YouTube that you can find, which is so hard to watch.
Yeah, life as a shorty shouldn't be so rough.
What are you talking? What did you just say?
Wu-Tang Clan.
Life is what? Life is a shorty?
Shouldn't be so rough.
I mean, we were close to.
We're in New York, so
yeah,
I thought I'd throw a little Wu-Tang in there.
Why not? You know. So, I mean, but like I said, it's a serious matter. The documentary itself is really hard to watch. Like, if you watch it, check it out on YouTube if you have the stomach to. But he basically would snuck into this this mental asylum, I guess you call it, school, quote unquote.
How does Geraldo sneak into a place? Does everybody know what he looked like?
No, he wasn't famous then. Like,
okay.
He was like a new reporter, and he went in there, and there's literally just like children sitting in corners, just like rocking back and forth. Some are like naked, jumping around, and there's one nurse trying to like wrangle them all together.
I mean, those places
awful.
back in the day were just like real messed up.
It was the worst. Like I was like really unsettled watching it. It was like a horror movie. In one instance, they explained that one patient was accidentally fed a solid meal when they were on a soft food diet, and they ended up choking. But when they tried to use, they had a giant metal suction machine. I don't know. This was the 70s, so like they used
not a plastic suction machine.
It was a giant metal one.
Okay, just clarifying that.
From what I saw.
Just want to make sure.
And they would use it to try to dislodge food when choking, but when they turned it on, they realized the tubing had a hole in it, and the patient choked to death.
Oof.
So that's how like understaffed and like underfunded this place was, that they didn't have any nurses, they didn't have any proper equipment. They were supposed to feed these children, each have like 30 minutes to eat.
Yeah.
But they had such small staff that they were limited to 3 minutes to feed every single child. And the children's head would have to be like held back, and then they were fed like a baby bird, just like shoveling food into their mouth. And these kids,
Well, baby birds were not fed with spoons or shovels, like
you know what? This was a metaphor they used in the documentary.
Okay.
And
so Geraldo wasn't puking food in their face?
he was not.
Okay.
But yeah, it was horrid conditions. The horrible treatment at the facility for so many years eventually made the state of New York have to shut it down. And by the year 1987, the last of the 250 remaining patients were transferred off the grounds. Or at least, that's what they thought. So the legend of Cropsey tells the tale of an escaped mental patient who lived in the old abandoned Willowbrook Mental Institution, who would come out late at night and snatch children off the streets. Sometimes Cropsey had a hook for a hand, other times he wielded a bloody axe, but it didn't matter. Cropsey was always out there, lurking in the shadows, waiting to get you.
What type of Inspector Gadget shit is that? He's either got a hook or an axe?
So, I mean, it was a legend around Staten Island. Basically, Cropsey was a boogeyman-like creature to children in the area, and this tale spread from child to child across Staten Island over decades. And parents would actually use it to warn children, like, you better come back before dark, before Cropsey gets you.
Yeah.
It was like I don't want to say a fun thing, but it was like a,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was a fun thing.
It was a fun thing. So the urban legend of Cropsey remained a spooky campfire story until the year 1972, in which it became a horrifying reality.
Oh, no.
So, on July 10th, 1972, 5-year-old Alyssa Pereira disappeared in her neighborhood just a few miles southeast of Willowbrook. They held search parties, but nothing ever came of it. Years later, on July 15th, 1981, 7-year-old Holly Ann Hughes also went missing. Her parents filed a missing persons report, and several witnesses reported seeing the girl with an older man who threw her into a van.
They say anything about the hook or the axe?
No, but they it was more of like the intentions of Cropsey more than like
It was more of a meat tenderizer.
What do you? No, it wasn't a meat tender. I meant his hands. I think were normal hands.
Okay. I mean, yeah,
But
sure.
the same older man was later suspected in the 1983 disappearance of both 11-year-old Tahis Jackson and in 1984, 21-year-old Hank Gafforio.
Damn, he's taking all ages.
The weird thing was, so 11-year-old was the highest until 21-year-old Hank Gafforio. But I found out doing research that Hank Gafforio had a really, really low IQ. So he was basically as easy to kidnap as a child because he might have been very gullible.
Yeah, it wasn't so much of a physical thing to say. It was more of a convincing kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how convincing this Cropsey character was at this point, but he just seems like he could maybe overpower him because he might have been more scared than a normal 21-year-old who, you know.
Yeah.
So, but it was the disappearance of 12-year-old Jennifer Schweger, however, that finally led to a breakthrough. Now, Schweger was born with Down syndrome, so it's pretty apparent at this point that this guy was attacking the most
people with disabilities,
children,
and very young people.
Exactly. The most like easy to target people in society, just like who have the least amount of resources to fend off anybody. And she was reported missing on July 9th of 1987. And after a search that lasted 35 days, Schweger's body was found in a shallow grave on the property of the former Willowbrook State School.
Oh shit! So
she was found in the forest behind the school.
Yeah.
Detectives said they found her foot hanging out of like a shallow grave, and that's when they're like, "Oh shit, this is a body." So The man who actually had been accused of the heinous crime had already been apprehended though.
Okay.
This man was Andre Rand.
Andre Rand.
Yeah.
Part of the Rand family.
So the legendary Rand family. No, there is no Rand. I mean, there's probably a Rand family, but actually,
I'm talking about comic books at this point.
What are you talking about?
Iron Fist, the character from New York. He was.
Oh my God,
Danny Rand, millionaire.
Wait, are we about to put two and two together?
Uh-oh.
Iron Fist, or was it Hook Hand?
Hook Fist, meat cleaver. Fist.
I think you meant for Iron Hook, not Hook Fist. You fucking idiot. You went for Hook Fist?
I mean, you know, the hook might have been iron, so why would you call it iron if it was a hook that was made of iron? It'd be the Hook Fist.
It's not a fist anymore.
That's true.
It's
I
a
mean,
hook.
Maybe it's a hook that looks like a fist that
Hook?
opens in the middle.
No, it goes material it's made out of,
Okay.
and then form of it.
Okay, what is this? What is the system you're talking
fist
about?
is
I don't know the
A
system.
fist is a hand. It's Iron Fist.
Yeah.
You can't go Hook Fist. Hook Fist is two forms.
Oh, you can make a fist out of metal and then have it open the middle and be kind of a hook thing.
That's
sure.
not a hook anymore. That's a hook that's not a fist anymore. That's a hook that separates.
Hey, my janitor in elementary school
Okay.
had a hook. I know what I'm talking
Why
about.
do a lot of oh my God. Okay, in 1960, Rand worked as a custodian at Staten Island's Willowbrook State School. I'm not fucking kidding. So,
Okay.
like I said, in 1960, Rand worked as a custodian at Staten Island's Willowbrook State School and had a very low IQ himself.
Okay.
So
I mean, that might be.
they have pictures of walking him out of like the courtroom or the jail cell, and he's drooling, like he's not in any like mental condition to be. Let's just say taking the stand, or an accountant.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting. That was a good segue into. He did not have a hook. He had normal hands, so he did not have any hooks.
Honestly, it's kind of a letdown.
But he was a custodian, so that
Okay,
fills
so
one of
there's
your
something.
dreams.
Yeah, there's one of them.
Rand had actually been questioned on each of the disappearances in the area due to his prior conviction of, this is fucking weird and fucking funny. It's not funny, but nothing bad happened in this, but he still got jail time. He had a prior conviction of picking up 11 children in a school bus at the Staten Island YMCA, buying them food without their parents' permission, and then driving them to the Newark Liberty International Airport in the state of New Jersey. None of the children were harmed in the encounter, but Rand was apprehended and served 10 months in jail for unlawful imprisonment.
No, I was like, he's just trying to give the kids a good time.
So the thing is,
Like in a reasonable way, not like a weird, creepy, like, oh, I'm going to give you a good time. Like, he seemed like he was like a little...
you guys like, he's like,
let's
what's
go
your
get some food. Let's go go check some shit out.
What's your favorite mode of transport? They're all like, planes. He's like, we're going to the airport.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the weird thing is, like, I don't know why he drove to the airport, because he probably definitely didn't have the salary to buy 12 plane tickets, because he was a custodian at the time. Yeah. So, he definitely wasn't going to do that. So, I don't know. Maybe he also had a very low IQ. So, who let him drive a bus in the first place?
Yeah.
That was a little disturbing. But although eyewitnesses had seen Rand with some of the missing children, there was never enough evidence, including a body, to pin it on him. When the body of Schwager was found, Rand was already being questioned. But when detectives found one of Rand's makeshift campsites in proximity to the body, they were sure he was the man. So he was living in the forest behind the insane asylum.
Okay.
So like,
but was he ever an attendee of the insane asylum?
he was a janitor.
Okay.
So he never, I mean, it seems like one of those positions where maybe it was a work program where there, I mean, here's the fucked up thing. Obviously, in the 70s, they didn't have like background checks because this guy kidnapped 11 children.
They didn't have computers.
Yeah, and they still let him. They had computers, just not very good computers.
They took up a whole cafeteria.
Yeah, exactly. And they let him work at a child center for children with mental disabilities, and he had like a prior conviction of kidnapping children.
Yeah.
So first off, bad hiring.
Kind of sounds like they're just trying to get rid of those kids.
I mean, it technically was as Bobby Kennedy called it, a snake pit of people just leaving their children in this place to like rot. It's basically a place for unwanted children, which was horrible because some of the children were severely mentally, as they say, retarded. I mean, I know it's not a term.
They were people with disabilities.
Well, no, I'm just saying that's not a term that's used today, but that's what they called them. They said they were severely mentally slow, and some of the kids were not mentally slow at all, and they just had cerebral palsy.
Oh shit!
So they were sitting there, and they said that one of the guys, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he said that the people would walk in, the nurses, and they just like throw candy on the floor and like be like, "Here you guys go. And
here's your lunch."
And they would feed them like mush and stuff like that, but they would also like throw candy on the floor. And he's like, I realized this was like a horrible situation. And he's actually like very poignant himself. Like he sounds, like with cerebral palsy, it's hard to speak sometimes, but he's mentally there, and he's like, I want to go back.
Just because you have difficulty speaking doesn't mean that you don't. Like cerebral palsy doesn't affect your like your mind and how you think. Like just because he can't communicate as well doesn't mean that.
He was pretty intellectual for how little schooling he did, because he kept saying, I want to go back to school. I want to learn how to read. But he was able to answer all the interviewers' questions when they interviewed him. I think he's still alive. And he seems like a pretty normal guy. And it's just so sad to think that he spent like years and years inside the institution where they just treated him like garbage, and not by any fault of the nurses themselves, but they just didn't have the resources. They were laying on the floor naked, like defecating on themselves, and it was just horrible.
That's the thing. It's like I've never heard of a story of like a mental hospital like this where like things were just like going well, because it's always a shit show. It's always understaffed. It's always just,
I'll tell you
too
why.
many people. There's just no funding for it.
Exactly. The reason is because they had funding for it, but when budget cuts came, the senators and stuff like that would immediately take it from these places where these were the most unwanted people in society.
The people with no voice.
And exactly. Yeah. No one's representing them, so they're going to go, okay, take it away from them, because they won't even know the difference, and who cares if they do know the difference?
Exactly.
So they got cut. They used to have like enough nurses, and then they just got cut to like a couple nurses, and it was just horrible. Yeah. But he repeatedly lied to reporters, saying that he had never met Schweiger before, but after his defense lawyer learned some eyewitnesses saw him holding the girl's hand and leading her away from her house, Rand changed his story at trial like immediately. Yeah. So he's like, I mean, that just shows you, like, if you have that low of an IQ, don't get on the stand to represent yourself. Like, that's bad.
Oh, I mean, even if
just don't speak at all. Talk to your lawyer, and that's it.
Even if you have like a,
I don't know,
like
I'm trying to
fairly good. I'm just saying, like,
I'm trying to give this guy defense.
But no, even like for anybody, like even if you are like a smart person, like let your lawyer do their, like, do not.
It's a different ball game in there.
Do not represent yourself, no matter how smart you think you are, how smart you are. Like, let the professionals do that stuff. Like, you're always better not saying anything, even if you get pulled in for something you didn't do. The only thing you can do to hurt yourself is like try to like defend yourself.
It only takes one slip of like a wrong word for
like just being nervous, and you can accidentally say something that makes you seem like you did it. Like,
if you say something in the past tense that's supposed to be in the present, they'll be like, was, and you'll be like, oh my god, like, no, it's, and then they make you look fucking crazy.
Plead to the fifth, motherfuckers.
It's all about just manipulating the jury, and they're really good at it. So
leave it to the professionals.
I'm innocent. Yeah, I'm still innocent.
That wasn't very convincing.
But Rand was only being held for kidnapping at the time, but when her body was found, Rand was charged with Schweiger's murder as well. While the jury couldn't come to the verdict on the murder charge, they convicted him of first-degree kidnapping, giving him 25 years to life. And you know what? They make a really good point. Like, as much as I would like to pin this on the guy, it didn't seem like there was any proof besides him being a weirdo and having a track record of, like, if you put two and two together, you go, yes, he definitely did it. But if you want to get like technical, like lawyers do, they go, technically there is no evidence to report him, connect him to the crime. And
no one saw him do anything.
Exactly. So it only takes one juror to be like, there is no evidence. So so they convicted him of kidnapping, which they have actual eyewitness evidence of him doing, which got him 25 years to life, which was, pretty good for what, he did. I mean, that's close to a murder charge. He would have been eligible for parole in 2008, but since there was no statute of limitations in New York's first-degree kidnapping, it was possible to charge and convict Rand for the kidnapping of Holly Ann Hughes in 2004. Giving him another consecutive 25 years to life. So he was eligible for parole, which he probably wouldn't have got out on.
Yeah,
maybe. But since
Small
there's
chance.
no statute of limitations, they go, "We're going to try you again, another 25 years." He will become eligible for parole again in 2037 when he will be 93 years old.
Okay, that's not unrealistic.
So
People make it that far.
I mean, maybe, but I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
probably
know.
not.
I mean, I hope he doesn't make it out. I mean, and even if he does make it to that other 25 years, I don't think they're going to be like, yeah, let's let him out,
Yeah.
Maybe he's just so used to it now too, where he's just like, let me stay in here. He kidnapped more than 0 children, so he probably just shouldn't be let out in general. Because he's just sitting there festering and being like, I wish I could kidnap another child.
I mean, yeah, but honestly, who can say they haven't, by definition, kidnapped a child? I'm kidding.
Well, okay, I was going to say, please give me context of this. God damn, that was convincing. I'm like, you are not about to defend this fucking Rand guy.
No.
You're not going to defend Cropsey incarnate.
Yeah, you kidnap 11 kids, and that's not a good look.
11 plus 5.
Well, yeah.
And murdered probably 5 of them.
Yeah, probably.
They disappeared and never were found. So let's just say kidnapped 11 or kidnapped 16, murdered 5.
Yeah, those aren't good odds.
Yeah, not a great guy. Now, the abandoned Willowbrook School has been incorporated into the College of Staten Island, but before that, when it was still abandoned, some strange and unexplained things still occurred inside the building. In the 1991 book, The Soul of a Cop, retired NYPD detective Paul Raganese describes responding to Building 2 of the abandoned Willowbrook campus as a member of the NYPD bomb squad. Raganese describes an abandoned building full of hazardous chemicals, including explosive picric acid crystals, along with rooms full of jars containing specimens of human organs.
Oh, shit.
Raganese goes to write that the incident was largely covered up by local officials.
Yeah, I'm always curious where they get those mason jars with the body parts in them.
I mean, I think you could buy mason jars.
I need a bigger mason jar. You got a mason jar about the same size as like a head.
Hi, welcome to Smart and Final. What are you looking for? A mason jar. Oh, you pickling something? You making jam?
Pickling babies. I'm making
pickled kidney. Pickled human kidney.
A pickled brain.
Oh, we have kidneys here. You don't have to pickle your own.
We have pickled kidneys.
We have pickled pigneys.
Yeah.
And on a final note, some people, along with detectives, speculated that Rand may have been involved with Satanism and provided the children to be sacrificed. There were people also who thought that Rand was not alone in the commission of his crimes, and many believed he was passing the children around to his friends in the underground network of homeless and mentally disabled people living in the tunnel system of the former Willowbrook State School.
Those mole people.
Tunnel
systems.
I don't know what tunnel systems bring out the worst. They attract the worst people, if you could believe it.
Yeah, I mean they're hidden from the light.
Cheap,
no
damp
one can
living.
See. Yeah,
So
plenty of worms digging around.
Pickled. You know how many pickled kidneys you could fit inside of a underground subway system?
I mean, you could do a lot. You hide them from the light. You get a real good pickling.
Nothing ruins
going.
a good pickled kidney like daylight.
You just gotta bury them about a foot deep in the soil.
You just wait.
You just sit there and you wait. You watch those kidneys. You watch those kidneys pickle.
They go big and strong. Stop. So,
Oh, yeah.
in the end, the legend of Cropsey became a terrifying reality that will haunt the residents of Staten Island forever because deep down the question still remains. Was Rand just a copycat of what was really out there lurking behind those trees, watching and waiting for someone just to get close enough to the tree line, just close enough to Cropsey?
Just snatch him on up.
You know, snatch him. I'm going to snatch your kidney, boy.
Yeah, let me see that back. You got any scars back there? Okay, go. You got both your kidneys.
I'll trade you. You give me one kidney?
Give a bouncy ball.
Oh, it's got glitter in it.
Gobstopper or bouncy ball? What you want, boy?
Yeah, the Gobstopper. Well, big Willy Wonka fan. Fuck. Jeez. He's like,
I meant Jawbreaker, but Gobstopper came out.
take a look and you'll see in a world of pure imagination. I'm like doing a Louis Armstrong at this point. He's like, what a wonderful world. That's his trumpet. There's obviously a mute in that trumpet,
Yeah.
so I knew that.
Yeah, you know.
I'm a former trumpet player.
We're
myself.
musicians.
So Cropsey may still be out there looking to hijack a bus.
Yeah.
Needs another 11 to fly to Newark, to drive to Newark Airport.
Yeah,
Fly JetBlue.
he was just trying to capitalize on that young blood, sell it out.
JetBlue, the official airline of Cropsey.
Yep.
So, I mean, if you ever go to Staten Island, like I said, the mental asylum now is incorporated inside of the college, but the College of Staten Island. But I mean, that don't mean that the force is incorporated.
Hold on. Is the acronym of that CSI?
No, it's not.
College Staten Island?
No, it's actually SUNY. Wait,
No, I was just making a little throwback joke for our Camp Strange
Oh,
intro.
you're not actually curious? It's
No, I don't care.
CUNY, SUNY, CUNY.
Okay.
So
All right. Well, should I get into my story a little bit here?
you should probably get into your story before we pickle some more livers,
Some more
kidneys,
some more children.
chillins, kidneys.
All right. So I'm going to talk about a little historic building that's actually near my apartment here in LA, and that would be the Culver Hotel.
Oh, I've been to the Culver Hotel.
It's really cool, isn't it?
I went on a date to the Culver
Ooh,
Hotel.
talk about a lucky lady, huh?
I'm not meaning to brag, but I was my let's just say this: I was mediocre on Bumble, and I never got a call from her again.
He's
so
a real bumble boy.
I'm a nice guy. Okay,
Buzz, ladies.
but they had a guy playing guitar in there, and it was really nice. Big guy
Yeah,
playing piano.
no. So the Culver City Hotel, I guess it's just the Culver Hotel. It's not.
It's a
Culver
nice.
City Hotel.
It's a nice hotel.
It's super awesome. So it's got a really cool old vibe to it. It's
Tell
got
them
some
where
really
Culver
good
City
dining.
is.
I don't know, like central LA.
Yeah, so it's in LA. It's like southern LA area, I
It's
guess.
it's real central LA. I heard like a quote
Okay.
that was like all roads in LA lead to Culver City.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. Which is, half the reason why I like living there for work, because working on set, I work in commercials, and like every day I'm on set, it's never the same place twice, really. I mean, sometimes it is, but for the most part, it's never like the same thing twice. And so I'm like,
It's nice being central in LA.
yeah, it's
yeah.
At the most, I'm 30 minutes from anything, leaving at 3 a.m., 4 a.m.
And Culver's a nice little area. It's like
It's
has
amazing.
Has
I
a nice
love it.
little downtown. The hotel's like right in the middle of downtown.
Yep.
It's not that big. It looks like J. Jonah. I mean, not J. Jonah Jameson. The Spider-Man. What's that like? That hotel in New York that's like split in between those two streets that has like the curved edge.
You're talking. I think
Spider-Man always goes by it.
I think they call that a wedge.
Okay, it's a
I think
wedge
the building is called a wedge building, where
Okay.
it's almost like a weird triangle. Like it gets very narrow at a tip, and then it kind of opens up towards the back and gets more flat, like a triangle. So the Culver City,
It is. Yeah, I think it's
called
called
a wedge?
The
was right on that?
Flatiron Building in New York is what I was kind of thinking of,
Yeah.
but that's like the historic, like one of the historic wedge buildings, and it is called a wedge building.
Okay, I wasn't too far off. My mom was a architect, so
Oh,
yeah, it's not a big deal. I got a little.
She
bit
was?
of it. I mean, she made one thing.
before she built all those beams out of mashed potatoes.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm just saying that she's a bad architect. Where she was like,
no, she was great.
I bet she was great.
She built my childhood home, and that was about it. And
Did she really?
Yeah.
That is super cool.
yeah, she did all the blueprints for that and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, and so it's
Do you
always,
still have the blueprints?
Yeah.
You should frame those.
What?
I mean,
know.
well, you still have the house, right?
Well, about 19. No, okay, yeah. No, it's
Why'd you bring that up?
no. I think the building. I think our my childhood. Well, I call it my childhood home because I lived the majority of my childhood there. But I think the building ended in 2000, so it's been up for almost 19 years.
What do you mean the building ended?
Like they stopped. Like the house. Like we moved into the house in 2000. Like the construction ended in. 2000.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, but we should probably get back to wedge buildings. But
Yes.
that's really cool, Jody. I know you're listening to this.
Yeah. So J-Dog, J-Dilla, Chody, my mom, Jody. She actually has a lot to do with this story because my parents were actually here this last couple days, and they stayed in the hotel, which is kind of how I decided to go with the story. Mm-hmm. And so the Culver Hotel was once named the Hotel Hunt.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's
And,
a cooler name.
I mean, kind of, but not really.
The Hunt.
It is cool, but when you think about it, it's like Culver City it's a city in Los Angeles. It's in the greater Los Angeles, and that is the Culver Hotel, which makes it seem like pretty prestigious.
It sounds more important now. Was
Yeah.
it the Hunt family who owned it originally?
From what I saw, I don't know why they called it that.
Okay.
I mean, maybe they did.
You know why? You know what they call it?
Why?
For the Hunt.
For the Hunt.
Yep.
Yeah.
But-
And so it was first opened in 1924, and it had 100 like really small rooms. And they also had a office for selling real estate. And so from what I read is that the current rooms now, because they remodeled it, is about 2 times size what they were then.
Okay, so they doubled. So there's 50 rooms now?
I think there's like kind of like 40 because I think the top
they got
the top level is
nice ones up there.
2-bedroom kind of things.
No one
with, like,
lives
a
there,
living room.
right?
No, not that. I don't know if anybody lives there now. People did live there, but not now,
Oh, wow.
as far as I know. But shit, I would live there if I could. It's super awesome.
It's always been a hotel, but there's been like extended stay people.
Well, we'll get to that.
Okay.
But so originally there were 100 very small rooms. If you see this building, like it's big, but it's not like you would look at that and be like, oh, there's definitely 100 hotel rooms in it. Like it's not.
It doesn't look that big.
No. So the hotel was created by a man named Harry Culver, who was a real estate.
What?
Yeah, I know, right?
Did they name the city after him?
Well, we'll get into that. So he was a real estate developer and philanthropist from Milford, Nebraska. Nebraska corn boys. Them Nebraska boys get real big from
He
that
must have been
corn.
thick with corn.
A big corn boy.
I'm like doing a southern accent, but I'm saying Nebraska.
I don't know what type of accent they have. Is it?
I wouldn't go as far as offending anybody from Nebraska, so I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I assume it's the same noise if you shuck corn.
Oh, so it's like
It's like shuck-a-con, shuck-a-con, shuck-a-con.
So Culver had served as a corporal and a sergeant in the Spanish-American War at the age of 18.
Whoa,
Which is like pretty intense.
18.
Yeah. And, well, I mean, he went into the war at 18. It didn't really say how long he's in there, so like it might have been over like a year or so, but like he was a corporal and a sergeant.
I mean, if you also think about it too, like we said in the last podcast, people really don't live till that late around that area. So like,
yeah,
a 50-year-old was like ancient. So he was like kind of midlife crisis. I'm not midlife crisis, but he's like, I need to be a general, a corporal. But I mean, he seemed like if you're 18, you probably have like 14-year-olds in your deployment, right?
I don't think so.
No, but
you think, I don't. I've never really thought about like what
how young you can be when to join the army.
Yeah, I feel like at a bare minimum, it had to have been like at least 16. Don't you think?
I mean, I would think 16. It says right here that you have to be at least 17.
Okay.
So that's kind of crazy that he was maybe in for a year, and then there's like, we trust you, but he seemed like he had his shit together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure.
So
after the war, he attended. I'm not sure how this is pronounced. I think it's Doane. It's Doane. So I'm gonna go Doane College for a year until he transferred to the University of Nebraska, where he started some business and stuff. And so he graduated there. And so after college, Mr. Culver went to the Philippines to work as a mercantile business.
what is that?
Mercantile?
I've heard mercantile before, but I do not know what mercantile means.
From what I'm aware of, mercantile is like a very wide variety where it's kind of like you've got all sorts of things.
Mercantile is relating to trade or commerce, commercial.
So it can be anything from like clothing to food to like furniture kind of thing. I feel like it's like the general store you know now. I'm pretty sure that's a mercantile.
It says general store here. So
yeah, so I think like Target is a mercantile.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It's not a term that we use very loosely these days. Mm-mm. But so he worked at a mercantile business and became a news reporter for the Manila Times. Manila.
He's trying to sound more South American.
I'm working on my English.
Manila. Envelope.
Because it looks like vanilla, but the
It's
V is
probably
upside down.
like Manila envelope.
Yeah, sure. And but so while he was in Manila, he married his then wife, Eunice.
That's a name and a half.
Eunice Richardson of Lincoln, Nebraska. And so after they got married, they spent a little bit of time there, and then they ended up heading out to Southern California to embark on the real estate business. Because I don't know, I guess someone was like, "Hey, in case you're wondering, this place, Southern California, there's like this city named Los Angeles. Like there might be some like good real estate out there. I don't know. People like might end up moving there. I don't know. The weather's kind of good.
Always invest in water property. That's what I say.
Yep.
Even if it's a lake, invest in it. If there's water nearby, there's something visceral about the human experience that like water is the last untouched. I've said this before. Water is the last untouched thing by like humans. Like we can't.
I'll fucking touch it.
Yeah.
I'll fucking touch all of it.
You know what I mean? Like you can't build on water. So I think that's why people really like being near oceans and lakes.
Have
and
you
stuff
seen
like that.
Waterworld?
Yeah, that's a fictional thing, movie
That's what you think, motherfucker.
/ experience at Universal Studios.
That is a good show, though.
It is.
Got motherfuckers flying off of things.
Highly
explosions.
recommended. They got Gatling guns and they got boats flying through walls.
Some rocket launchers.
It's fun. Kevin Costner's in the movie.
He's in the movie, but he's people don't know this. He's also in the show. He's just underwater the whole time.
I was gonna say
they pay him $40,000 a night to be there just to hang out under the water.
Wow.
Yeah, that's Costner for you.
It's impressive.
Well, you know he doesn't have a tank or anything.
But then who taught him? David Blaine?
No, he's got gills.
That's from the movie.
And he drinks his own piss.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
He's a big dirty piss boy.
Anyway, let's get back to the fucking hauntings, dude. We're getting really off track here. He said he's a big dirty piss boy.
He's a big dirty piss boy.
God damn it. I hope there's new people listening to this. I'm sorry. There might be new people.
Okay, well, Kevin Costner's a big dirty piss boy. And in 1913, Mr. Culver made a very persuasive speech to the California Club in Los Angeles to make the city, now known as Culver City, into a place of its own.
Okay.
Yeah.
That does make sense because it doesn't seem like it should be its own place.
No, not really. It's kind of just like, for me personally, my address is technically in Los Angeles, but if you go like a block from my apartment, you're in Culver City, and it's kind of like this. Culver City is awesome.
It's great.
I'm all for it.
It feels like a little bit more small town than LA.
Yeah, and for people like me who grew up in places like Oregon, lived in Idaho, like Culver City's awesome because it's not too chaotic and it's a little more low key, and it feels like you're
spread
just
out.
Yeah, Culver City's awesome. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have like the big city vibe,
weirdos,
and stress, and all that stuff. But so Like I was saying, he pled his case, and 4 years later, in a 59-0 vote, Culver City was born.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yep.
Everyone's liking that. Did he pitch the name, too? He's like,
Yeah. Name this my
so
own
I'm
name.
going to name it Culver City. They're like, what are you going to name it? He's like, for me. Big Piss Boy.
Big Piss Boy, Culver City.
Piss Village. He was like, just stick with your last name. He's
Yeah,
like,
well-
fine, fuck.
If we can we keep piss out of the name, sir?
He's like,
It's
I'm
kind
about to walk, but I'll do it for
kind
you,
of a deal
Candace."
breaker, but okay. So when the Culver City Hotel was actually built, it was known as the first skyscraper in the greater Los Angeles area.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it was the tallest building in LA when it was built, and it's only 6 stories tall.
Wow.
Yeah.
When was it built?
It was born.
It was born.
It was born.
It was pushed out of a
a bigger building that scooted off to New York. So it was opened in 1924.
Okay, so early 1920s. Maybe it took a while to build.
Yeah.
They had to ship hammers from New York, where all the big buildings were.
That's where all the hammers are kept.
I'm still in awe of how they build those buildings, but let's not get into that.
That is pretty insane.
It's especially like that early on. I don't get how they build these tall buildings now,
A lot of people died.
let alone back then.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yep. So in 1939, a little movie called The Wizard of Oz.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah, some people have. It was filmed. That was a bad way to go around that sentence. What I was trying to say is, in 1939, The Wizard of Oz was filmed. All right?
First color film, by
Yeah.
the way, if you
Yep.
guys didn't know.
And it was such a huge film for its time that there were needs for room and board for the actors. And so the entire Lollipop Guild
Oh, no way.
stayed at the Culver Hotel.
How many rooms did they...
Okay, so it was reported that all 124 Munchkins stayed in the hotel.
There were that many Munchkins
There
on
were
the
that many
on
Munchkins.
the movie?
Yeah. And get this,
Two a room.
3 to a bed.
Okay, that didn't take up 124.
I mean, there's other people staying at the hotel.
I see what you mean. I see what
Yeah.
you mean. It's not like they emptied out the hotel and just put Munchkins.
No, but so yeah, they would have
LPs, little people.
3 little people sleeping in one bed in a room, and
those were twins back then too. Like,
I'm sure they weren't big. I mean, the rooms were tiny.
yeah, they weren't queen
know,
beds.
I spent some time in my parents' room when they were staying here, and like, it's not like it's a really cool room. Don't get me wrong, it's a really cool room. I'd stay there 10 out of 10 times. Like, it's awesome.
What does that mean? You spent time in your parents' room when they were staying here. What does that mean?
Like, I hung out with them in their hotel room, watched TV.
Oh,
and,
I see
like,
what you mean.
Like, hung out.
Oh,
with
so
them.
they stayed at the Culver Hotel.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. And but like, I would never go as far to say it's like a big room.
Okay.
My dad is a very, very big guy.
Yeah, he looks like a broad guy. He played in the NFL, right? He's a big, broad guy.
Yeah, he was an offensive lineman, and he's very tall, pretty wide. You know, it's hard to get by him. And I mean, he stayed in the room comfortably. Like, he wasn't uncomfortable. Like, it wasn't too small, but like, the rooms are far from big. Is what I'm trying to say. And what it's been reported is that the rooms back then were half the size of what they are now. So you can take the room that I've seen and split that in half, and like,
Crazy.
pretty small.
Yeah.
And so they would have 3 of the Munchkins sleeping in one bed. And the legends were that they would have the most insane fucking parties you've ever seen. And it was kind of one of those, it was like a mentality thing. Because, you know, for a lot of people a lot of little people back in those days, it's, you know, I think even today, if you are a little person, it's not common to see someone else that is a little person.
Yeah, I mean, imagine they have little person conventions, and apparently they go like ham, hard as a motherfucker up in those conventions. Because
I would too, because it's like you don't get to spend much time around people that you can like honestly relate to and like feel a connection with. Can you imagine like growing up
Hell yeah.
for 30 years and only meeting like a couple other people,
especially in the whatever when that Wizard of Oz came
39?
out. I mean, there's no Facebook pages where you get to feel like you communicate
and you get 100 and damn near 130 of them in one
oh my God.
building. they're gonna go nuts and have the time of their fucking life.
Hell yeah.
And I don't hold anything. I would do the exact same thing.
I would.
So I've got a quote here, and it is, the rumors started years ago that they were just treating the hotel like it was an insane house, and they were swinging from the chandeliers.
Shut the fuck up.
And that was said by, quote unquote, Munchkin specialist.
Shut the fuck up.
No, hold on.
That's not a job.
No, hold on.
Fuck off.
Hold on. Said Munchkin specialist Stephen Cox, author of the book The Munchkins of Oz. So this dude wrote an entire book about the Munchkins.
Okay, I guess he kind of is a special. Is he a Munchkin himself? I'm not a Munchkin. That's derogatory. I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I meant, is he a little person himself?
I don't know.
What's his name?
Stephen Cox. That's with a PH.
Stephen Cox with the X.
With a PH.
No, I get that. I meant his fucking last name.
Yeah.
Nope. There's a lot of real estate agents or old people with glasses. It's a very common name. We'll almost never know if Stephen Cox. I'm gonna type in Stephen Cox. How
could we ever know?
No. Yeah, I don't think so. But
Okay.
I mean, he's hard to tell. I don't see anything.
Okay, so we've had plenty of fun leading up to this point, but you're probably wondering, like, what the fuck am I?
Yeah,
what does this have to do with about
spooky
strange
story.
shit? So this is where the strange paranormal stuff starts to be a part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
And that is that there's a lot of records of it. And my lovely parents, like I was saying, were staying at the hotel room. And my mother, who is much like me, has a hard time not, starting conversations with people and talking to everybody.
Your mom seems pretty fun.
I get a lot of, like I've said before, I get a lot of personality from her. And so immediately my mom started talking to one of the employees and asking them about, is this place haunted? And so the employee said on multiple occasions, someone has said something along the lines of, hey, why is there a kid behind the bar?
Shut up.
And
Munchkin.
so people assume that there have been, well, okay, so they don't assume, but there have been multiple sightings of the Munchkins in the halls.
No
and
way.
Stuff like that. And, people catching a quick peek of them once the old creaky elevator, like, starts to slowly shut the doors. They'll see a little Munchkin kind of, like, walk down the hall. Because it was very common for the guys back then. They would show up to the hotel, like, in their outfits and stuff.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And, they weren't as strict as they are
Lollipop
now.
kids.
The Lollipop Guild, yeah.
Kids or guild?
Guild.
Okay.
It was the Lollipop Guild.
My bad. I thought it was the Lollipop kids.
I mean, there were kids in the Lollipop Guild.
Okay.
They were all ages of the Munchkins. But, so there are speculations that I think... So I saw an article from 1997 saying that there are only 7 of the 124 still alive.
I saw an article with something about, like, one of the guys, like, getting interviewed or something. I was like,
Yeah.
he looked old.
Yeah. So from I'm just gonna put 1 and 1, 2 and 2 together. 2 and 2,
One and one together to make 2 and 2 together.
That makes 1 and 1 makes more sense than 2 and 2. Why is the saying you put 2 and 2 together? Exactly.
You got me.
It doesn't matter. It does matter. It does not matter. But I'm gonna put 3 and 3 together and say if only 7 were alive in 1997, that there's a pretty good chance that most of them are
Past.
And I'm a firm believer that if you pass into the other world, the other whatever,
The netherworld.
exactly, what you pass on to whatever is next, that if your spirit's gonna still roam the earth, that it's gonna take you back to maybe the place that meant the most to you or somewhere where it was very special to you.
True.
And so I feel as if this hotel could have been a really special place for a lot of these people who at one point in their life felt very alone, very different from other people. And that was kind of like the place that was just like, I'm with people who understand me and stuff like that. So for me, and from what I've read, it's very understanding that if there were ghosts of the Munchkins, that this would be the place that they would meet up at to go party.
Honestly, like, I feel like you're kind of an asshole all the time. But that was, like, really nice of you to say right there.
Thanks.
That
Thanks,
actually
babe.
got me, like, a tiny bit emotional. I was like, wow.
Yeah, why are
that's
you
like,
crying? bitch.
Look at me. Look at my eyes. They're watery. No, but like that's like very true, and I think very, I don't know, like there's some visceral thing about your spirit going back, or like, I mean, we look back at our like childhoods as like the best times we've had and stuff, and I don't know, I think we all live in a time where we look back at things and look at them with like a lot of I don't know, grandioso, and we're like, oh, I miss that, and I think that's really, really sweet of them to be like these haunted ghosts going back to this place where they felt the most not the most comforted and the most together with other people. I'm like, I mean, that's like probably the best haunting you could wish for.
Exactly.
So,
and it's like no one's ever like scared. It's like, I mean, seeing a ghost is seeing a ghost, but it's not like they're like, you know, trying to kill people or push them down the stairs. Like, they're just partying. It sounds like they're behind the bar. They're like running up and down the halls.
I'll say this: if there's an afterlife and we get to become ghosts, like, I'm trying to think right now, like, where I would go back to, where
maybe
I could meet
recording
up.
the show.
Oh
from
God,
the grave.
I'd have to sit across from you from eternity. I fucking.
Hey, if we have white wine,
then I could maybe put up with you. But I mean, it's a good question of like, where would you go to? You know, like, I want you guys to think of that at home. Like, where would you go to if you were?
Hey, as far as we know, you haven't even been there yet.
You surprise me every day. Next thing I know, you're gonna pull a liver and you're gonna pull pickled liver.
Have you seen my
pickled
jar?
Pickled kidney.
Have you seen my jar?
I ain't gonna surprise you right now. They're my kidneys. I can't filter alcohol. I shouldn't be drinking this wine.
You wonder why I'm so pale right now? So, the Munchkins were not the only sightings of the paranormal.
Okay. Some evil ones there too. What's up?
I mean, no reports of evilness. But so sightings of Mr. Harry Culver himself have been very, very frequent since his passing in 1947.
Okay.
I misread that. He passed away in 1946. I don't know why I said 7. But I'm not afraid of my mistakes. Not going to edit
You're only
that.
off by a year. No one would have fact checked you on that one.
I know. We haven't really had to stop or pause at all, so I'm just going to run with this and say,
he's dead.
Yeah. So it's been said that people have seen him walking the halls late at night, having a drink at one of the many secret bars that are in the hotel.
There's secret bars? That's kind of like weird talking about hidden bars. Where's the secret bar?
So there is a secret bar that's located on the other side of the wall of his office that was his own personal safe where he kept all of his money.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, and I actually saw it last night.
Are you allowed to go in there?
No.
Who?
I was with my mom. She just walks into places. I don't think we were supposed to be in there, but we went into his office.
Wait, I'm confused. Can you order drinks at that bar?
See, I think it's only for
private events.
I think it's only for private events.
That makes a little more sense.
We were the only people up there, and we just kind of walked in. Kind of, one of those situations. Ask for forgiveness, not permission.
Yeah.
And so there's there's a safe that he used, and they put a little bar in it. And people say from outside. So outside of his office is the ArcLight Cinema.
Yeah. Which
I frequent quite a bit because it's walking distance from my place, and it's like. I could go for a cheaper movie, but at the same time, it's like...
That's an expensive place to watch a movie at.
It's a little expensive. It's not... I mean, when you really boil it down, it's... if you factor in driving to another theater...
True. It's only like $3, $4, $5 more.
You might as well have a few drinks and walk to this movie theater and...
Because you bring beer in there, right?
You can't... Well, okay, you can order beer there. You can't just, walk into the six-pack and be like, what's up, bitches? I want to watch Venom. Because I'm Eddie Block. I'm Eddie Block. I'm a journalist.
That got a lot of money.
Bad
so you better stop talking about Eddie Block.
Eddie Block. No, I want to go see that. I don't have high expectations, but I do want to see Venom.
Yeah, we'll talk about that off the podcast.
But yeah, so from outside... if you look from his office, you can see the movie theater. And people have reported that down in that little lobby area, not really a lobby, but it's more of like a
communal.
Yeah, they've got like a little fountain
area.
They got a little fountain benches and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, but people have said that they can see a figure pacing back and forth and stopping at the window and then just suddenly disappearing.
Can I ask you this? Did you see that lion statue?
Yeah.
Me and Kyle, when we first moved, Kyle's my roommate. when we first moved to LA, I have a picture of Kyle kneeling down and praying to that lion statue. I don't know why it's there.
You know what? It's there for the Wizard of Oz.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's like the Culver City mascot, and it's supposed to be like the Cowardly Lion from Wizard of Oz.
It doesn't look like the Cowardly Lion.
You take your interpretation. Like,
I guess that's
you
true.
can say it doesn't look like the one from the movie, but
True. It's a lion for sure.
it's a dancing lion in the middle of a fountain.
That's cool to know. I didn't know that.
Yep. And so I actually took a photo in the office that I will post to the Instagram, and a lot of people say that when you're in a haunted area and you take photos, there are floating orbs, and there are 110 fucking % floating orbs in it. Ignore the chandelier above me that might line up perfectly with the lights, because that has nothing to do with it. I swear to God, it has nothing to do with like a little lens trick or anything like that. It is 100% me in his I'm in his actual office. And
oh, really?
Yeah. No, I have pictures. So there's a framed photo on the wall of his office in the room, and you can look at that, and you can turn and look at it. I mean, it's not his office anymore, but you can still see the same ceiling, same wall, everything.
Okay.
And so it's where his office was. And so we'll upload that, but there's 100% chance that I was hanging out with Mr. Harry Culver himself.
I was going to say the opposite, because you just said that there's like 5 floating orbs, and where are the orbs? At waist
right in front
level.
of me. Right in front of me.
At waist level.
Is that what that was?
Those are 5 munchkins, buddy.
Oh, I thought you were saying something completely different. But
What are you trying to say?
I don't know. You're talking about waist levels.
No. I'm talking about those are munchkin orbs.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really think about it, if you want to get down to brass tacks, like
Yeah.
Culver's outside pacing, trying to find cheaper tickets to the ArcLight, and while
Probably.
you're partying with the munchkins, right?
Yep.
There's a bar in there, correct?
Yeah.
Hell, if I know
on the
anything,
other side of
if
the
I know
wall.
anything about a lollipop guild member,
Yeah.
they're always looking for a bar.
Yep. So there's also a speculation that the hotel itself is a common meeting ground for the lost old Hollywood spirits.
Okay,
And so
'cause
people
the
who
wedge building.
it was a really big social meeting place for a lot of huge celebrities.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah,
okay.
so like Marilyn Monroe was there.
That's really cool, actually.
A lot of old presidents were there. The Duke himself was there.
Maybe a
Charlie
little Jimmy
Chaplin.
Stewart.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe he was around the time.
And so the Culver Studios, which are like a few blocks away, where Gone with the Wind was shot.
It's also really close to Sony's studios.
So the Sony studios were the MGM studios back in the day.
Okay, I didn't know that actually.
Yeah. And so that's where they shot The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense. Okay.
Yeah. And so the Culver Studios, I believe, are just right behind the hotel. Mm-hmm. And they were built by a man.
I've seen those actually. Yeah.
Yeah. They were built by a man named Thomas Ince, I-N-C-E, Ince. I'm gonna guess there.
I don't know him.
And so Ince was actually mistakenly shot and killed when a jealous William Randolph Hearst was attempting to shoot and kill Charlie Chaplin.
Yo, wait. Why do I know William Randolph Hearst? Of Hearst Castle?
I don't know.
Wait, I know that name. Why do I know that name? What is it? William Randolph. Okay, wait. William Randolph Hearst was an American businessman, politician, newspaper publisher. Yeah, he was of Hearst Castle. He was a giant. You know this movie Citizen Kane?
Yeah.
That was based off of him.
Okay, yeah.
My dad told me this. I don't know if I should say this on podcast, but I'm going to say it now. You know the movie Rosebud? You know the movie Citizen Kane? No. The whole movie, they're trying to figure out why he mutters the word Rosebud as his last sentence. Apparently, that was like a slight at William Randolph Hearst, because Rosebud is what he called his wife's. Exactly. So it was kind of like a hey, 1, 2, fuck you, like type thing. I'm making a movie about you, and I'm gonna give out like important information about you. So I mean, that's the word on the street. I don't know if that's take it to the bank material, but
yeah.
So William Randolph Hearst shot
the guy who made the Culver Studios in an attempt to kill Charlie Chaplin.
Are you fucking kidding me? What?
Yeah, and at one point, Charlie Chapman actually owned the Culver Hotel, but this is all speculate. Like, there's no 100%
Wait, did I
truth
just
to
hear
it.
Charlie Chaplin owned the Culver
Yes.
Hotel?
This is all kind of like a rumor thing. There's like no official paperwork or anything like this. But Charlie Chapman once owned the Culver Hotel and lost it
In a poker game?
in a poker game.
Shut the fuck up.
It was in a card game. I don't know if it was poker, but lost it in a card game to none other but the Duke.
Who's the Duke?
You know who the Duke is.
Dukes of Hazzard? John Wayne?
John motherfucking Wayne.
No way.
So John Wayne owned it for a hot second.
Oh,
And it was just
fuck.
like, what am I supposed to do with this fucking hotel? And from what I saw, he actually donated it to the YMCA after he won it. And then it's been passed around like a fucking hot potato.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's
Yeah.
also, like you said, that's also, speculation or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm getting into this now where I'm looking up.
And it's also been rumored that like presidents have owned a room that it's like not one president owned a room, but like it's like the presidential room that whenever they're there, like they can just walk in, and like multiple presidents have lived there.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Like
It's basically like a free range apartment for presidents in the area. Like they can just like walk in and like stay there.
it's interesting because most presidents obviously are East Coast born and lived.
Mm-hmm.
So it's when they come out here, maybe it's like free reign.
Well, I think Nixon was one of them, and he's from San Clemente.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my Culver City story. Really cool hotel. If you're ever in the LA Culver City area, it's definitely like the food, and they have insane cocktails there. The food's amazing.
I'm looking up this. I'm sorry. I'm looking up this Nice guy. I mean, the guy that what's his name? Thomas Ince, the guy who got shot by Hearst.
Yeah.
And they said that he either died of a heart attack, or there's also a lot of rumors about he got shot on Hearst's yacht.
Okay.
So he got Hearst shot him.
Yeah. Oh hey Kyle. So yeah, that's the that's the end of my story. So I guess this is our little intro here.
So,
Intro, outro, same thing.
Yeah, that's not the same thing. But yeah, I mean, that's super. I mean, overall, it's haunted by Munchkins, little people, and
Business
Hearst.
tycoons.
Not Hearst. Culver, Mr. Culver.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it doesn't seem like it's malicious spirits, which is kind of a nice, strange story.
Oh yeah, they're like I haven't read anything about people being like I feared for my life. Like they're just there.
Yeah, that's cool. That's it's nice to have a haunting that's
Not every ghost is out to kill you.
exactly. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, let me ask you stories to the other side. Let me break out the Ouija board, and
Yep.
not have to deal with death threats.
Yep.
So that's assuming that every Munchkin is in a good mood all the time.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, if they're partying, why not?
Yo.
Overall,
More like wine not.
shut up.
I'm sorry. I know that was a battle.
But yeah, I mean that brings us to the end of our episode. We're bringing it a little lengthy. We're getting too lengthy right now, but I mean,
We're just really rolling.
yeah, we're having a good time. We hope you guys had a good time with us. We should plug our stuff right now.
Obviously, rate, review, subscribe.
You got it. You nailed it.
Yeah. Go on the Apple app.
It's
and,
it's really cool. I mean, we got a lot of reviews right now, but I mean, we always need more reviews because it solidifies us as like a normal good podcast.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, shout out to the people that have already done that and helped us out a lot, because it really does mean a lot to get those reviews in, and it only makes us look better, and the better we look, the more content you're going to get.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we really appreciate it. I think, like I said, we really appreciate it. But, yeah, this has been a low upside podcast network podcast. Oh, well, I just said a lot of fucking the same words in one sentence.
That happens.
Yeah, so go check out
I was distracting you with my.
You were,
Yeah.
because you were trying to show me your shirt, right?
I was trying to say, make sure people check out the merch store. We got some awesome T-shirts. Like seriously, they are the most comfortable T-shirts you can ever get.
Yeah, you got them now, right?
I got mine, but I feel like honestly, you might want to get a size larger than you usually do. I feel like they're a little bit smaller.
Yeah, I mean, I got a large, but when it shrunk down, it's like it fit me perfectly.
Yeah, and
so
I've got a weird body that I'm somewhere between like a big large and a small XL. And
if you're a big large, get an XL. I think that's the thing. But like if you're a woman, like a petite woman, medium works.
Can we get women's shirts on this? Is that an avail? Like,
we're gonna work on that. We're gonna see what we can get. I had somebody asking for a double XL. So
I know a lot of ladies like T-shirts.
We're gonna. You know, a lot of ladies like T-shirts.
No, I know a lot of ladies do not like T-shirts. Like they'd rather have like a V cut kind of
higher shoulder cut.
Yeah,
I get that.
Yeah.
So like we said, we're gonna expand that store. That's gonna be David's little project for the weekend.
That's gonna be mine.
Now it is.
I don't know what you're doing. I'm booked this weekend. I'm doing so much spooky shit this fucking weekend, dude.
Actually, I'm doing spooky shit with you too. We're going to the.
I went to Costco and I got some Depends. Do you want to borrow some?
I already have a bunch.
Okay.
But this has been a Low Upside Podcast Network by lowupside.com. And check out campstrange.com. Like I said, we got merch. We got send us your spooky stories. In 2 episodes, we're going to be doing Tales from the Camp, episode 2.
When are we going to do one with a guest? Is that
probably next episode?
Next episode?
Yeah,
I was thinking about that.
So stay tuned. We're going to have a guest on. Should be really fun.
Yeah, I mean we've got so many people that we've like. I don't even know who the guest is going to be because we have so many prospects right now.
A lot of people want to be on it right now. Not saying we're great or anything, but I think people just want to be on a podcast. So we're really grateful that you guys listen. Like we said again, it's so amazing that like you guys just want to take your time out of your day to. You don't even know how much we appreciate it. It's great. It's great.
Love it.
So cool. I think that ends it.
Yeah,
and we'll stop ranting and raving.
We're just burning our monthly minutes.
I know. Fuck. We should shut up. Okay. Yeah. Thank you guys again. We really appreciate it. And always remember to stay strange.